stream. As you can probably hear, I'm in a bit of a storm. This is actually from last time, so this stream is going to be starting. Yeah, so yeah, this was where we started last time. Yeah, so now we are in the Empyrean Straits. Yeah, I've been to the Empyrean Straits before on this tour of the galaxy. We came through here after our first spiral arm on the way into the centre, and we're on the way out again now. Right, so let's have a look at the map to see whereabouts we are. Right, so yeah, on the map. Right, so the last stream ended at the space station in the centre of the galaxy. Since then I've done a bit offline. I went and visited the bits I intended to visit in the last stream. The second storm I went to, it was a Lagrange cloud, but it wasn't a storm. Since then I have moved over to this fleet carrier, and I have been heading towards this one, or probably somewhere a little bit more over here, and we are currently on the route to a nebula, I think. Let me have a check to see what that is. Right, so while we're waiting for that to pop up, I will get into the game. Right, so I've got my route plotted. It is, how many? 32 jumps to the nebula, so that would be about 45 minutes.
Frameshift drive charging.
And, here we go. Yeah, it is a nebula we're heading to. After that, it is a large star of a type I'm not familiar with. But that was found through Astrometrics, Elite Dangerous Astrometrics, on their website.
Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete.
Right, so as we've got a long way to go, we are currently just looking for plants. So we're looking for those in systems with Earth-like worlds, ammonia worlds, and water worlds. And we scan for those and then look for them.
System scan.
Bar at the bottom. So the Earth-like worlds are in that region. So there's nothing in this system at all. But that is where we shall be looking.
Frameshift drive
off to the next system.
Fuel scoping.
So just refueling and
fuel scoping complete.
41 bodies in this system, so that's a pretty good chance that one of those will be worth scanning. No, they're all small or gas giants. So yeah, we're looking for things between these two. So yeah, straight onto the next system.
Frameshift drive charging. Fuel scoping.
Right, 30 bodies in this system.
Fuel scoping complete.
Well, the sky is amazingly dark, considering we've only just left the centre of the galaxy. I'd expect to see a lot more stars in the sky.
Frameshift drive charging.
In fact, even when I was in the centre of the galaxy, it still seemed to be remarkably few stars compared to what I would normally expect.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
See what we have here.
Fuel scoping. System scan complete. Fuel scoping complete.
Yeah, nothing at all there. Right, as I not listened to the news for a time, I'm going to put the news on.
The coming of Taranis. As the rogue signal sources draw closer
Frameshift drive charging.
to human-occupied space, work is underway to initiate peaceful interspecies negotiations. Dr. Elias Pope is a graduate of Orion University with degrees in interstellar relations.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Political science and xenology. He has recently joined the Kingfisher megaship's crew to oversee the Thargoid Advocacy Project's diplomatic mission. In an interview with Vox Galactica, Dr. Pope explained his role. Like most of the Kingfisher's crew, I volunteered to take part in this operation.
Fuel scoping.
It feels like my whole professional life has been leading to this opportunity. Many of the fine
Fuel scoping complete.
people here feel the same way I do. If there's even a chance that we might begin properly talking to the Thargoids, well, it'll be historic. Loria, my assistant, tells me there are some media-friendly names for these anomalies now. As a scientific purist, she's very unhappy about that. This first one has been labeled Taranis. It will transit through the Hyades sector YOQB51 system at tremendous speed, so we won't have long to snag its attention. But that's what we're aiming to do. The megaship has an impressive suite of audiovisual, electromagnetic and hyperspace transmitters that will broadcast to
System scan complete.
Taranis as it approaches. We'll be trying everything from flashing light patterns to multi-frequency data bursts. Establishing common ground is key to any negotiation, so I've composed messages that impart universally recognizable concepts such as mathematical formulae and star charts. These should illustrate our intellectual prowess and capacity for reasoning. The best case scenario is that whatever controls Taranis hears us and responds in kind. We must at least attempt to make peaceful overtures. Even if we fail, it would signify to humanity that there are many people willing to make the attempt, no matter how dangerous. Wish us luck. The Kingfisher Xenopeace mission. Pilots Federation alert. The Kingfisher megaship has requested supplies for its planned journey to greet the first rogue signal source. Shipments of basic medicines, fruit and vegetables are required for the Kingfisher's crew, who will be joined by over 3,000 supporters of the Thargoid Advocacy Project. Semiconductors and one imagers have also been requested to establish the mission's communications arrays, which are being designed to initiate contact with the Thargoids. Congressman Dalton Chase gave a press statement regarding the initiative. Now that we know the approaching anomalies are Thargoid, many are concerned that hostilities between our species will escalate. However, a brave group of volunteers see this as an opportunity to prove that diplomacy can work. An alien race has sent emissaries toward humanity's space, and it is our duty to meet them with words rather than weapons. The first of the anomalies, which we have named Taranis, is predicted to pass through Hyades Sector YO.
Surface scan by 50%.
QB51. Using the
Surface scan complete.
high-level protocols available to Congress, I have successfully obtained a temporary access restriction that grants an exclusive permit to the Kingfisher. A range of broadcasts using multiple techniques will try to attract the Thargoid's attention. Hopefully, the entity will slow down long enough to give some acknowledgement of these attempts. The delivery initiative in the Andevangel system is being managed by Deutsche Elite P.
Surface scan by 50%.
10 Interstellar.
Surface scan complete.
In order to protect deliveries to Blenkensop Hub, the faction is offering increased payouts on bounty voucher redemptions. Coalsack Nebula reports Thargoid activity. The human colonists in the Coalsack Nebula has raised the alarm after Thargoid forces appeared several systems. Following recent attacks on human assets in the California Nebula, it appears that the Thargoids have again sought to occupy systems where barnacle fields are present on planet surfaces. Councillor Louis Lechurch, representing the Alliance Expeditionary Pact in HIP 2154, provided the following to the Alliance Tribune. Our ships regularly patrol between the populated systems in this region. We had the first reports of non-human signals this morning. Obviously, we've seen Thargoid activity in the Coalsack Nebula several times before, but this time was different. It's not an attack as much as an occupation. We witnessed a huge upsurge in these signals in multiple systems. Over a couple of hours, it felt like Thargoid activity was visible on scanners wherever our ships looked. It's exclusively in areas with barnacle sites, too. Now, there's no secret that the Thargoids aren't happy with our interest in the meta-alloys those sites produce. But this time they're not attacking ports, or either the Spirit of Nissa or Song of Meki megaships. It's like they're waiting for something. The described behavior matches similar Thargoid incursions into other populated systems in recent weeks. Researchers in the nebula have withdrawn from ongoing field studies of barnacle sites, citing safety concerns. In other news, Azimuth Biotech has announced that the Glorious Prospect will distribute the Mooney permit from the LHS 1163 system instead of the T-Tauri system as planned. Federal authorities offered protection to the megaship to reduce the travel time between the two locations, granting combat pilots swift access to the anti-Xeno weaponry offered at Prospects Deep. Public unnerved by Palin announcement. The announcement that the rogue signal sources heading towards the core systems are Thargoid in origin has caused unease within the general public. Protests in systems on the edges of human space have taken place, demanding assurances from local governments about their safety. The failure to establish a collective human fleet to counter Thargoid incursions has left many concerned about what the future may hold. Casey Kilpatrick provided this report from Castellan Station in Lathe. Colleagues across multiple systems have confirmed that the impending arrival of the rogue signal sources, termed Stargoids by some in network media, has led to a shared sense of anxiety. ICE networks are seeing high interest in topics related to Thargoids, with negative sentiment aimed at politicians and military figures seen as responsible for the Proteus Wave event, which perhaps attracted the anomalies. Witnesses report families transporting all they own to ships bound for the opposite side of the bubble. Palin's opinion that humanity may not be ready for what happens next has been criticized as needlessly alarming. While Palin is a brilliant scientist, his communication skills have been called less than ideal in recent days. Yet his supporters, particularly among academics, have argued that it would be cowardly to hide the truth. If humanity is truly in danger, the statement at least could prompt a fresh allocation of resources to military organizations while also giving independents time to prepare. Vista Genomics has reportedly contacted the team working alongside Professor Palin with a proposal to share its genetic database with ongoing research projects. The potential importance of such data may precede an increase in payments to those who record and submit genetic samples. The news has also caused a stir across most financial markets. The main issue is the unpredictability of what this could mean for primary industries and their ability to maintain traditional supply and demand. The cost of goods and services may be impacted across clusters of systems. The Bank of Zounds has announced it is monitoring the situation and is preparing several potential strategies in the event of an interstellar recession. In conclusion, most are left with a rather unpalatable course of action: to sit and wait. No superpower has announced a means to prevent the Thargoid anomalies from reaching us. Palin's announcement has hypothesized on what the signals may be, but could not confirm what they will do. It appears that we will all find out together, for better or worse. Xenopieces reject prediction of war. A claim that the rogue signal sources form part of a potential Thargoid offensive has been disputed by many in the pro-peace movement. A joint statement by respected xenologists Professor Albert Tesreau, Professor Ishmael Palin and Ram Tar concluded that the approaching anomalies are a reaction to events in HIP 22460 and may have dire consequences for humanity. The 8 signal sources are projected to arrive in the core systems within weeks. Advocates for the Thargoid Advocacy Project and similar Xenopeace groups have rejected the idea that increased hostilities with the Thargoids
Surface scan by 50%.
is inevitable.
Surface scan complete.
Unity Liaison Bernard
Orbital flight engaged. Landing gear deployed. Low gravity warning. Drive assist off. 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 Chassis integrity compromised. Drive assist off. 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 Power plant capacity exceeded. Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage. Landing gear deployed. Landing gear retracted. Frameshift drive charging.
I did all of that without saying anything because I've got my mic muted. Yeah, so that was good. We just found a planet with 6 biology on, scanned all of them in about half an hour.
Fuel
take twice as long. There was nothing new there.
Complete.
So it's all stuff I found previously. But yeah, it was good to get through that so quickly. Alright, what do we have in this system? Oh, I've not scanned it yet. Bodies. Nothing of interest. Right, in that case, I'm going to put the news back on. Oh, someone's just joined me. Welcome to the tour of the galaxy. I am in the Elysian Straits sector, following the spiral arm round from the centre of the galaxy to the easternmost point, or it's a spiral arm that ends at the easternmost point of the galaxy. You've just missed us find a planet with 6 biology on it. That's the first thing I found today. We managed to get through the whole lot in half an hour, which is pretty good going.
Fuel scoping complete.
Right, so I'm now going to put the news back on until we find something else of interest. What's that? That's nothing there. Right, so news time.
At Wells stood on the Joy Senna, I see E-cast. Despite this ominous claim from 3 respected scientists, they have offered no hard evidence to support the assumption that the anomalies are hostile.
Frameshift drive charging.
I'm sorry. I know Seojin A has suffered enormously as part of Salvation's unrelenting obsession with the Thargoids, but I don't think we should be using her vague instincts to inform official policy regarding this.
3, 2, 1, engage.
Alien species. Haima Borichev, deputy editor of the Sovereign Newsfeed, claimed, with all the talk of the superpowers forming a grand fleet, why are we not demanding they form a grand diplomatic effort? Many in the Assembly, Congress and Senate agree with this sentiment, but are too scared to risk their careers. We need a concerted campaign, pressuring elected officials to stop listening to the vultures who stand to benefit from continued conflict with the Thargoids. Congressman Dalton Chase is one of the few politicians to openly agree
Frameshift drive charging.
with this argument. In an interview with the Federal Free Press, he said, the Kingfisher megaship was
reading out the news.
Frameshift drive operating
We
beyond safety
are
limits.
established to lead a
flying
mission
through
of peace with the
a
Thargoids.
arm of a neutron
But
star.
imagine how much greater our chances
Yeah, so
of success would be with
Frameshift drive charging.
here we go again.
official support. I call upon my colleagues in the Federation and like-minded leaders everywhere to promote peaceful coexistence as a valid strategy. Further effort.
3, 2, 1, engage.
Sir, scanner upgrade released. Pilots Federation alert. A version of the FSS scanning software used to track the Thargoid anomalies has been made available to the Pilots Federation. Commanders should
interesting.
experience reduced interference when
new
using
scanner?
the full spectrum system,
Is that a new scanner or
FSS,
improvements
scanner
to
to
the existing?
focus on the anomalies. The team leading the development of the software, however, warned the resultant
System scanned complete. Fuel
He has done little
scoping.
to ease the concerns of Professor Palin, Ramtar, and other leading scientists. Laurie Jameson, an engineer contributing to the FSS scanner's software calibration,
Fuel scoping complete.
commented, "We're pleased with the update and are happy to share it with commanders who have
Frameshift drive charging.
provided much of the data used by the institutions researching the rogue signal sources. Representatives of Canon Interstellar Research Group, Orion University and Universal Cartographics have also
3, 2, 1. Engage.
helped greatly. I just wish the results generated a more promising picture. I understand the calls for peace that we've been hearing more of, but judging by the feedback these signals are emitting, well, I'm trying not to push my opinions on others. I urge commanders to take a look with the FSS scanner for themselves. The update has been delivered to all registered pilots, Federation vessels free of charge. Understanding the Thargoid roar,
Okay, so
Professor Albert.
so we all have an upgrade to the FFS scanner. So that is what we're looking at now. So the full system. I can't remember. It's full system scanner. Presumably, it will add some new information types in the data. Probably down this end in the small stuff where the Thargoid stuff normally is. But yeah, we're not using, or we're not seeing anything we want in this system, so we're going to go on to the next one.
Frameshift drive charging.
Through. Professor Ishmael Palin and Ramtar have released a joint statement regarding the alien sound heard at HIP 22460. There has been much speculation about the mysterious noise
3, 2, 1. Engage.
that was recorded following the Battle of HIP 22460, which is clearly of Thargoid origin. Thanks to the help of Seo Jin A, formerly known as Subject D2, we have started to comprehend some of its meaning. What was audible to humans was only part of a complex multi-frequency transmission, amplified by the energy surging through the Thargoid surface site which housed the Proteus wave weapon. Its specifics remain indecipherable for the moment, but certain aspects were isolated with the aid of Ms. Seo, whose unique neural implants were designed to
neutron
interface
stars
with
in a row.
Thargoid technology.
So we'll have to be a little bit careful about
Systems
refueling as soon as possible.
She believes there is
what
a
is in
call
the
and
system?
response element, as if the signal was a reply to the Thargoid
Got the little
forces in HIP
stars.
22460. This was interwoven with a sense of acknowledgement and focus, which Ms. Seo
Frameshift drive charging.
So the next
described
star
as,
is
"We see them.
refuelable. So
We are coming."
I'll just step
Further
down a bit
insights
there.
from Ms. Seo plus advanced audio analysis leads us to conclude that the sound emanated from a single Thargoid entity.
3, 2, 1. Engage.
And was transmitted with more power than anything previously encountered. Popular theory has linked this Thargoid roar to the anomalies known as rogue signal sources, which are currently converging on the core systems. Seo Jin A appears convinced that, whatever their ultimate motive may be, they have been
Fuel scoping.
deployed by the Thargoids as a direct response to Salvation's Proteus wave weapon. We solemnly predict that the Second Thargoid War is about to enter a new phase, and humanity may not yet be prepared to withstand
Warning. Temperature critical.
it. Azimuth claim expensive success.
Fuel scoping complete.
The recent Azimuth Biotech initiative to expand its operation assets has been described as a partial success. A primary goal of obtaining sufficient resources to establish a new anti-Xeno megaship has been met, Azimuth CEO Torben Raidmaker announced. The megaship is expected to be operational within the next few weeks. Opponents of the Weapons Research Corporation, seeking to disrupt the campaign, mobilized forces to engage Azimuth security vessels. While unable to prevent sufficient deliveries from reaching the Musashi, it is thought these pilots inflicted significant losses on the Azimuth fleet. We are delighted with the support shown to Azimuth Biotech by independent pilots and look to the future with optimism, said Raidmaker. We will soon deploy a new Axe megaship to lead our mobile operations. Setbacks inflicted by anarchic opponents of progress have delayed our plans to establish planetary research bases, however. This persistent antagonism will have to be resolved separately. Along with credit rewards, qualifying pilots that contributed to the delivery campaign will receive the Booney permit shortly, granting access to Azimuth's selection of Axe weaponry. Raidmaker confirmed that the Glorious Prospect megaship will now sell this permit from the T-Tauri system permanently. Pilots who fought for Azimuth Biotech will also receive overcharged Guardian plasma charges in storage at the Musashi, providing they reaches the contribution threshold. Those who fought against Azimuth will receive rapid-fire multi-cannons with phasing sequence from One Drama Purple Council soon, collectible from the Claim City. Xenopeace champion elected to Congress. Dalton Chase, the former governor of Andavangel 1, has become a federal congressman following victory in the recent special election. Despite his relative youth and inexperience, many voters within the congressional district were influenced by Chase's charm and positive campaign message. His enthusiasm for opening diplomatic relations with the Thargoids resonated with younger voters. The Liberal Party also ran a creative PR campaign across social channels, which was amplified by many countercultural ICE casters. After formally swearing in and taking his oath of office, Congressman Chase proclaimed, "I'm conscious that some view me as unorthodox or contrarian, perhaps even soft on Thargoids. But I take the security of the Federation as seriously as any of my honorable colleagues. Achieving peace with another species, and thereby saving the lives of countless federal citizens, would be considered the great moral victory of our generation." Congratulations were offered by Shadow President Felicia Winters, who referred to Chase as a spirited addition to our ranks. Political analysts observed that she made no mention of his affiliation with the Xenopeace movement. Although some in the Liberal Party have expressed sympathy with its intentions, the majority consider it too radical to ever be officially endorsed. Key members of the Thargoid Advocacy Project have thanked Congressman Chase for helping to establish the pro-peace megaship, Kingfisher. This is currently being outfitted with specialist technology designed to transmit signals of various types, in the hope of being able to effect two-way communication with the Thargoids. Destination: Humanity. Pilots Federation alert. It has been confirmed that the mysterious anomalies known as rogue signal sources are all converging on the core systems. Professor Yaro Kenyatta, a noted academic in astronomy-related fields, has been collaborating with Professor Ishmael Palin and Ram Tar on analyzing the unexplained objects. He published a summary of their work in the scientific journal The Empyrean. The first of these distant objects was detected on the 31st of August 3308, but several more have since been identified. It was quickly apparent that they were traveling through interstellar space at faster than light speed. Full Spectrum System, FSS, scanners were upgraded to allow more pilots to detect their electromagnetic emissions. Data on these phenomena has been analyzed by many respected organizations such as Canon Interstellar Research Group, Orion University and Universal Cartographics. Their consensus is that the rogue signal sources are all approaching the core systems, home to the vast majority of the human population. As yet, we cannot determine when and where they will arrive with complete certainty. But it now seems unlikely that these are naturally occurring stellar bodies. It follows that 8 distinct anomalies converging upon our small region of the galaxy cannot be
System scan complete.
your chance. Human space is their intended destination. What will happen when they arrive? Judging by their astonishing energy output, they may be devastating to inhabited systems. Each signal could be an energy projectile or a navigation beacon for some unknown force. More fanciful suggestions include celestial beings beyond our comprehension, or interstellar technology we have never witnessed. Our intention is to narrow down the more probable options soon. Alternatively, if these are hyperspace distortions caused by non-human vessels, it's possible they may decelerate as they draw near. But one conclusion can be made. Whatever they are, they must know we are here. Azimuth to expand operational assets. Azimuth Biotech has announced a campaign in the One Drama system to expand its military and surface facility capacity. The controversial weapons developer has seen a recent downturn in fortunes due to fierce opposition by independent pilots protesting Azimuth's history of illicit research. The failure of Salvation to bring an end to the war has also soured public sentiment towards the corporation. Azimuth Biotech CEO Torben Raidmaker announced the initiative.
A long way
After
to
a
this
period of reflection, it is time for Azimuth to once again step forward and assume a position of support for the brave pilots engaging Thargoid forces wherever they are encountered. To do this, we shall establish a new megaship equipped to operation in Thargoid-tainted systems. The tragic loss of the Bright Sentinel and Heart of Taurus in HIP 22460 must not hinder our ambition any further. We also intend to operate several surface outposts to aid our research projects. We aim to contribute to humanity's military options once again, being careful not to repeat the mistakes of our former figurehead. Pilots contributing to Azimuth's campaign, hosted at the Musashi megaship in One Drama, will be granted the Mbuni permit and access to the company's range of anti-Xeno weaponry. Raidmaker has promised that a successful campaign will allow for the glorious prospect to offer the Mbuni permit from the T-Tauri system permanently. Within hours of the announcement, opponents of Azimuth Biotech had organized a counter-campaign to prevent deliveries from reaching One Drama. Combat between Azimuth security forces and anti-Azimuth activists has been reported in the system. It is believed efforts to derail the campaign are being directed from McLean City by One Drama Purple Council. In an effort to rally combat pilots to their respective causes, both factions are offering module rewards. Azimuth Biotech is offering its overcharged Guardian plasma charger, while One Drama Purple Council promises a rapid-fire multi-cannon with phasing sequence. Peace with the Thargoids? The rise of the Xeno-Peace movement has caused a number of public figures to discuss coexisting peacefully with the Thargoid race. With military options currently under discussion in the political capitals of all three superpowers, calls for diplomacy have sought to keep pace. Professor Seamus Madigan, head of Xenology at Olympus Village University, is one of several figures to have weighed in on the matter. The ancient records of the Guardians, as deciphered by Ramtar, describe how they learned enough of the Thargoids' language to make peaceful overtures. These were rejected in favor of total war. Though millions of years have passed, it seems improbable that the Thargoids will view humanity any differently, particularly since we actively deploy Guardian-based weaponry against them. Federal Governor Dalton Chase, assuming the communications barrier can be broken, I see no reason why we cannot have non-violent relations with these obviously intelligent beings. The recently consigned pro-peace megaship will help demonstrate to the Thargoids that we are not a single-minded warlike race, but a fellow advanced civilization. Jaya Chowdhury, host of historical ICE cast Ghastly Pasts. Human Thargoid diplomacy might have been possible when our two species first encountered each other. But since then we have made two attempts to eradicate them. First with the mycoid compound, and then with the Proteus wave superweapon. Let's be honest. Would we want to talk to an alien race that did that to us? Ambassador Jasmina Halsey, former president of the Federation. We have discovered a little about the Thargoids' history, behavior and technologies, but their thought processes and reasoning may be utterly different to our own. I have no idea if they even comprehend what diplomacy is, let alone whether we could find common ground. But I do know that we must try, if only to prove to ourselves that we can do better. Council of Admirals divided over unified fleet. The Alliance Defense Force has been unable to reach a consensus over the proposal to combine the superpowers' forces against the Thargoids. Admirals Liam Flanagan, George Varma and Rachel Ziegler all openly support the concept of a unified fleet formed of allied, Federal and Imperial vessels. However, Admirals Nicholas Glass, Murray Stella Silva and Tahir West have rejected this in favor of focusing on the Strategic Defense Pact with Sirius Corporation. Fleet Admiral Haley Sorokin, the highest-ranking officer in the Alliance Defense Force, has yet to reveal her own view. When pressed by a journalist from the Old World's Gazette, she commented, A decision of such magnitude is more political than military, and therefore the province of the Assembly. There was a more forthright statement from Admiral Ziegler, who previously commanded an allied anti-Xeno task force. This refusal to accept that we must come together to fight the Thargoids is enormously disappointing. Many of our counterparts in the Federal Navy are keen to increase links between militaries, and I firmly believe that we would soon convince the Empire to join us. We must not indefinitely rule out re-establishing Aegis or a similar anti-Xeno initiative. In related news, Deputy Prime Minister Angela Corcoran has proposed a bill to the Assembly approving the reformation of Aegis. However, this has not received enough support to be formally debated and would achieve little without similar acts in the Federal Congress or Imperial Senate. Empire dismisses calls for Aegis return. The Imperial Senate has debated contributing to anti-Xeno activities such as Aegis or a unified superpower fleet. Senator Caspian Leopold initiated the discussions among his colleagues, stating, "One would never criticize Her Majesty's priority to defend the Empire above all else. Nevertheless, we face an adversary that has shown no sign of understanding humanity's many political, social or cultural distinctions. To them there is no empire. Our citizens are simply more humans for the Thargoids to destroy. If we were to share our research and resources with the reformed Aegis, might we not end the Second Thargoid War sooner?" Imperial Admiral of the Fleet, Denton Patrias, responded, "Let me be clear. Aegis has been consigned to history. Likewise, the idea of unifying all three superpower fleets is a completely impractical fantasy. We can best serve the Empire by reinforcing the Imperial Navy and other military forces serving the Emperor. I assure you, Senators, that we are closely monitoring Thargoid activity and the threat is currently contained. The anomalous signals moving towards the core systems are being tracked. But should any Xeno force encroach upon Imperial territory, we are more than ready."
Surface scanned by 50%.
The issue was laid to rest Chancellor Anders Blaine. "Esteemed colleagues, there is great honor in exploring how best to protect
Surface scan complete.
our people from the alien foe. But I must remind you, a decree from the Emperor cannot be overruled, not even by this august chamber. The Empire will abstain from collaborating with the Alliance, Federation or any other foreign nation until Her Majesty wishes otherwise." Superpowers discuss unified anti-Xeno fleet. Ambassadors of all three superpowers
Frameshift drive charging.
held emergency talks following the California Nebula attacks, with the United Military Fleet the primary topic. Political journalist Conrad Sterling provided this report for Vox Galactica.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
The public demand to address the evolving Thargoid threat has led to key military personnel suggesting that the Allied, Federal and Imperial naval fleets could work in concert for the duration of the war. This once inconceivable notion seems more plausible following the coalition in HIP 22460 to
Fuel scoping.
despite the regrettable
Systems
outcome of that operation. Sources have confirmed that Admiral Rachel Ziegler sought
Fuel scoping complete.
to contact Admiral Maxton Price directly to discuss ways in which the Alliance Defense Force and Federal Navy might collaborate. Others have openly supported the idea of a glorious Grand Armada to wipe out the alien hordes, as Vice Admiral Juno Rochester
Frameshift drive charging.
phrased it. However, there has been little in the way of political enthusiasm, with neither the Assembly nor Congress willing to debate the topic. Many leaders had their fingers burnt by aiding salvation,
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
which could dissuade them from extending the hand of comradeship once again. And then there is the Empire, which lacks any interest in further collaboration with outside governments or organizations. While the Emperor pursues her new path of imperial isolationism, the Imperial navies cannot be relied upon to protect Allied, Federal or independent systems from Thargoid attack. Nevertheless, the prospect of resurrecting the anti-Xeno agency Aegis continues to
Fuel scoping.
gain
Fuel scoping complete.
traction. Professor Teesro's recent symposium outlined plans for a new incarnation that would avoid the mistakes of the past. Even if we never see a grand human armada, the call for unity could manifest in a number of other ways. Thargoids raid Nebula Colony. The
Frameshift drive charging.
human enclave within the California Nebula has reported multiple attacks from Thargoid forces. Systems such as California Sector CQ-YC5 and HIP 18077 have experienced
3, 2, 1. Engage.
direct assaults by large numbers of Thargoid vessels. Megaships in the area have also been attacked and left in disrepair, with surviving crews activating distress signals. Harrison Gladstone, a spokesperson for Turner Research Group, which oversees allied operations in the region,
Fuel scoping.
gave a statement to Vox Galactica. We're accustomed to the Thargoid encounters in the California Nebula, but this time their aggression caught everyone by surprise.
Fuel scoping complete.
Research teams have been recalled from the region's barnacle sites. It's just become too dangerous to send our people out there. Colonization of the California Nebula took place in 3302 and focused primarily on harvesting meta-alloys from Thargoid barnacle sites. Although the Enclave was initially established by the Alliance, the Kumo crew's expansion into the area last year brought tension. The Tau Ceti Journal reported that these latest attacks may directly impact the meta-alloy market. Some federal
Frameshift drive charging.
corporations, which directly purchase this material from the Alliance, have warned that fresh sources of meta-alloys could be required to prevent commercial instability. Xenopeace
3, 2, 1. Engage.
Project gathers support. Pilots Federation alert. Deliveries to the Andavangel system have enabled the Thargoid Advocacy Project to begin preparations for a diplomatic mission. Governor Dalton Chase, who is campaigning to become a member of the Federal Congress, arranged the initiative to create a nonpartisan envoy vessel. Its objective will be to find ways to open communication with the Thargoids and make peaceful overtures to end the conflict. Polly French, organizer of a Thargoid Advocacy Project rally in Andavangel, told the media, "War with the Thargoids represents multiple failures. A failure to imagine coexistence with another intelligent species. A failure to restrain our violent reactions to the unknown. By sending emissaries and opening diplomatic channels, we can prove that human civilization is advanced enough to seek peace. I am grateful to Governor Chase for his generous
Frameshift drive charging.
funding and promotion of this project. Sincere thanks are also due to all the pilots who transported computer components, semiconductors and titanium, as well as those who fought hard to defend this operation.
3, 2, 1. Engage.
Personally, I'm very excited to see our new vessel for the first time. Deutsche Elite Pilo 10 Interstellar is now offering payment and combat bond reimbursement to all contributors from Blenkinsop Hub in the Andavangel system. The call for you.
Fuel scoping.
News feeds across the core systems
System scan complete.
have reflected the increasing public demand for full-scale military cooperation against the Thargoids. Federal Free Press
Fuel scoping complete.
removing the Thargoid cult from federal space was a way of distracting the people from President Hudson's failures. The real threat remains the Thargoids themselves, and there is little chance of withstanding
Frameshift drive charging.
them without Allied and Imperial aid. Citizens Chronicle. With the greatest respect to Her Majesty, the Empire cannot pretend that it played no part in the disaster at HIP 2246.
3, 2, 1. Engage.
Hero. Surely we are strong enough to shoulder some of the burden in defeating this common enemy? Old World's Gazette. After the Aegis Symposium, Deputy Prime Minister Angela Corcoran supported reinstating the Tri-Superpower Agency, claiming, "The scale of the conflict deserves a stronger response than
System scan complete. Fuel
perhaps the
scoping.
Sirius Corporation can provide." The Marlin Standard. The proximity of the Thargoids to
Fuel scoping complete.
our democratic republic has always been a major concern.
Frameshift drive charging.
Parliament has agreed that any collaborative anti-Xeno initiative would be of great interest. Sol today, we all know that you can't trust the Imps or the Elias, but at least then
3, 2, 1. Engage.
not vicious genocidal monstrosities. And as General Falkenrath famously said, the enemy of my enemy is my disposable infantry. The Sovereign, the Xeno peace movement, as espoused by our very own Haver Borichev, is laudable. But many independent systems are
Fuel scoping.
demanding a less diplomatic strategy. Vox Galactica, the demands for a solution to the Thargoids
Fuel scoping complete.
are becoming more strident. According to unofficial reports, some low-level civil and military leaders have begun talking across the political divides, despite the lack of direction from their superiors. There is clearly a growing appetite for solidarity,
Frameshift drive charging.
whether through Aegis or some other means. The coming of Taranis. As the rogue signal sources draw closer to human-occupied space, work is underway to initiate peaceful
3, 2, 1. Engage.
interspecies negotiations. Dr. Elias Pope is a graduate of Orion University with degrees in interstellar relations, political science, and xenology. He has recently joined the Kingfisher megaship's crew to oversee the Thargoid Advocacy Project's diplomatic mission. In a
Fuel scoping.
interview with
Systems
Vox
scan
Galactica,
complete.
Dr. Pope explained his role. Like most of the Kingfisher's crew, I
Fuel scoping complete.
volunteered to take part in this operation. It feels like my whole professional life
Warning. Temperature critical.
has been leading to this opportunity. Many of the fine people here feel the same way I do. If there's even a chance that we might begin properly talking to the Thargoids, well,
Frameshift drive charging.
it'll be historic. Loria, my assistant, tells me there are some media-friendly names for these anomalies now. As a scientific purist, she's very unhappy about that.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
This first one has been labeled Taranis. It will transit through the Hyades sector YOQB51 system at tremendous
Well, we
speed,
seem to be repeating
so we
the
won't
news
have
now,
long to
so
snag its attention.
I will
But
turn
that's
it
what
off.
we're aiming to do.
Seems to have gone
The
back to the
megaship
beginning.
has an impressive suite of audio-visual.
Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete.
So yeah, it's not been
Frameshift drive
a lot,
charging.
but we are making good progress. So just 9 jumps till we get to the nebula that we're at. Sorry, 11 jumps till we get to the nebula that we're heading towards.
4, 3,
I
2,
don't remember anything
1.
spectacular
Engage.
about it when I plotted it in the route, but we'll see what that's like when we get there.
Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete. Warning, temperature critical.
Right, another system. Right, so that looks like the nebula there in the distance.
Frameshift drive
It's like a
charging.
purple blob just above the star we're heading towards. Actually, it's directly above the star we're heading towards. So it looks like it's probably quite a big nebula.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
And this looks like another neutron star. Yeah. So yeah, no other bodies in here, just the neutron star. So
Warning, temperature
cool
critical.
down a little bit. We'll just head off to the next one.
Frameshift drive charging.
Right, so it looks like this next one's going to be a neutron star as well. Oh, that's a white dwarf. So no refueling there either.
3,
So
2, 1, engage.
yeah, if the one after this is also a neutron star or a white dwarf, we'll have to do some redirecting to go and pick up some fuel.
System scan complete.
Yeah, just one body again to explore. Yeah, I've only got about 2 jumps worth of fuel
Warning,
left.
temperature critical. Frameshift drive charging.
Right, so we can refuel at this next one, so yeah. Take it a little bit easy. 8 jumps away from the nebula.
4,
It's already
3,
looking quite big.
1, engage. Fuel scoping. Warning, temperature critical. Fuel scoping complete.
Right, so fully refueled. And we have a water world, so something to scan. Right, so it's a second star. And it has a gas giant around it. That gas giant has moons. To geology there, not interested in geology. We are looking for biology. Ooh, biology. Right, what planet is this? Just one, so it's probably bacteria. B6. Oh, go and scan it, see what it is. Nothing on there. Nothing there. There. Alright, these look like asteroid belts. There. That seems to be. Alright, that seems to be everything there. There's something else over here. What's this? Not a gas giant. Nothing on there. And another one there, so that's B5. So B5 and B6 both got one on. There. and B9. Alright, there's the water world. That's B8. So, as you sort of expect, the life is on the planets that are nearest to the water world. Didn't see anything on there. No, there isn't. Right, so got to find two more rocky worlds. There's one of them. I've got to check. Has that got anything on it? No, it hasn't. And here's the final one. There. Oh, it's not the final one. One more. There we go. That's the final one.
System scan complete.
Right then. So 30,000 light seconds to get there. So that's going to take us a little while. Let's see where we are. So we've got 7 jumps to get to the nebula. We are seeing the galaxy is pretty bright on this side. Still not as many stars as I would expect to see this close to the centre of the galaxy. Right, while we're flying over there, let's have another look at the big map. I've not done a full talk through what we're doing on the tour of the galaxy, so let's do that. Right, okay, so yeah, here is the big map. So Sol in the bubble is over here. The current invasion from Thargoids is coming from the outer edges of the galaxy, or towards Sol. But the tour of the galaxy started at Sol, or in the bubble, and we came through here. Not scanning very much on this, through this very thin space here between these two spiral arms, over to this fleet carrier at the tip of this spiral arm, and then we followed the spiral arms round, visiting all the fleet carriers on the way. So the first arm took about 2 months to complete, and again we went through this sector we're in now, because we're actually somewhere around here. Then we followed it out through the centre of the galaxy from the other side and all the way around to the tip up here. That took about a further I don't know, that was about another 4 months to get to there, and then from there we hot-footed it over to the tip of this spiral arm, and we worked our way into the galactic centre. So I reached Colonia on the 1-year anniversary of starting the tour, and I spent about 2 months there, upgrading all my weapons that I hadn't upgraded already, collected the 4 engineers for equipment at Colonia that I hadn't already got, and also skilling up to mercenary rank elite. So I left there just over a week ago, I think. I can't remember when it was. And we headed to the centre of the galaxy. From the centre of the galaxy, headed out to this fleet carrier in a deep space support array. We're now heading generally towards this one here, but between there we have got a nebula, a large star of a type I'm not sure if I've seen before. There is a black hole system with an Earth-like in it, which we'll go and visit, and a form of stratum that I haven't found before, which is Frigus. So stratum Frigus, which yeah, haven't found that before. So I'll go and have a look at, see if we can find that, and then we will be at the this carrier in the deep space support array. Right, so after that we'll again continue following the spiral arm round to the remaining carriers in the deep space support array, ride up to the tip of the last spiral arm of the galaxy. We'll then visit the most easterly point, which is somewhere around here, and hot-foot it back to the bubble, visiting the outer Orion spur, which is the only sector of the galaxy, or will be the last sector of the galaxy that I haven't visited. And as you can see, that sort of fits between two spiral arms. Yeah, that's why I haven't visited, or won't have visited it by that point, because I've been following, trying to follow pretty much the middle of the spiral arms, although I have been going to the outer extents in places. Right, so back to the game now. We're now only 2,000 light seconds away from whatever it is we're coming to scan. So it's B6 is the first thing on my list. Right, let's actually change that to the water world. So let's go to the system map, and so it's B4 was the water world. We'll scan that first, and then we'll go to B5, B6, and B. Oh, it says B9. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll be B9A, so presumably it'll be that one there, because we can't land on that one. Right, okay, so we should be pretty close now. Oh, right. My stream has stopped streaming. It's stopped. Is it just Twitch that stopped streaming? Oh, no, my stream has continued to stream. It was just Twitch that wasn't playing. Right, so we'll scan this world. Doesn't look much like a water world. Ah, right, it's B4. B4? Alright.
Surface scan by 50%. Surface scan complete.
Right, is it? Alright, it wasn't a water world. Right, so we got the wrong one there. Right, so it looks very much like a water world. Or at least it does from a distance. No, zoomed in, it doesn't. So which one's the water world? Is it that one? Terrestrial water world. Right, so that's the water world. Right, so as we go into 5 and 6, we'll work our way out to that one. So 5 shouldn't be far away. Say a binary planet. Alright, so this has biology on it. Let's see what it is. If it's bacteria, I'll just ignore it and move on to the next one.
Surface scan by 50%. Surface scan.
That's just
complete.
bacteria, which is pretty much what I expected. But let's go to the next one now, which will be B6. Alright, so yeah, this is the second time through the Elysian Straits. I found one Earth-like so far. Last time I was here, I think I found one Earth-like as well. Yep, I did. And I've found, well, this time I found one planet with life on. Maybe a few with. Actually, yeah, no, I think there's probably another one too. But yeah, not a great deal amount of life in this sector. So when I looked at the codex, a majority of the life in this sector was in the area closest to the bubble, right in the bottom corner. So let's have a look at the galaxy map. I want to show you where. So yeah, looking at the codex, there was several species I hadn't found previously, all down in this corner. But again, we've been going the opposite way through this sector this time, so yeah, not seen those. Right, let's get a little bit closer to this planet. I'm not sure why it's been so slow. Yeah, just got away from the gravity well from the last one. Overshot. So I'm expecting to see biology again. Sorry, yeah, definitely expecting to see biology, and expecting it to be bacteria. So let's see what it is.
Surface scan by 50%.
Yeah,
Surface
more
scan
bacteria.
complete.
Right, so that was planet 6. So the next one is the water world, which I think is planet 8. So we've got system map again. Alright, that's the metal world, so it is. Doesn't look very watery, but that is the water world. And it's also a candidate for terraforming, so that's going to be worth 3.6 million. Try not to overshoot this time. Yeah, so for Waterworld's terraformable, it's worth about, actually it might be 3.2 million, just a little bit less than an Earth-like world. I did find a chart of how much all the planets are worth, or all the different types of planets. And let's see if I can find that and put that on the screen again. Yeah, Earth-likes are worth about 3 million, and water worlds are worth about 1.6, but about 3.2 if they're terraformable. There's a lot of metal worlds that are terraformable. They're worth about 2 million, I think, when they're terraformable. Ammonia worlds are worth about 1.6 as well. Let's see if I can find that picture.
Surface scan by 50%. Surface scan complete.
Alright, so that's the Waterworld one. And we just got to go to 9A now, which is that's the one with biology on it. Having problems finding that chart of prices. Right, yep, so this is the last one in this system with biology on. It's probably going to be bacteria again. about 9 times out of 10, if there's just one one biological signal source, it's bacteria, and I don't go down to planet just to search for bacteria, so I'll just go on to the next system towards the nebula.
Surface scan by 50%. Surface scan.
Yeah, bacterium. So straight off to the next system.
Frameshift drive charging.
And yeah, that nebula is getting bigger the closer we get.
Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete.
So I've not actually scanned the system yet. I just found the image I was looking for. So I will. I've actually embedded it into the galaxy map, which is why I couldn't find it. Yeah. So yeah, this is the list of prices. We have Earth-like. Metal-rich worlds there, worth between 300,000 and 31,000, and it's just skipping the bottom off. But if it was terraformable, again, the Earth-like worlds are between 3.2 million. Again, that's for scanning them. If you're the first person to discover it. If you're not the first person to discover it, you can knock 30% off that. And water worlds. So again, water worlds, if they're terraformable, they're 3 million. If they're not terraformable, they are 1.9 million. What's that? Am I counting the right number of zeros? I think I'm counting the right number of zeros. So yeah, and ammonia worlds are the next best paying one, from 1.7 million. Right, okay, so what's in this system? Nothing's in this system. So we'll get off to the next one.
Frameshift drive charging.
Only 6 jumps now to get to the nebula. I'll just go back to the game.
Fuel scoping. System scale complete. Fuel scoping complete.
Right, so no planets in this system, so as soon as we cool down, straight off to the next one.
Frameshift drive charging. scoping. Fuel scoping complete.
So what did I say? 40 bodies.
Warning, temperature
Right, so,
critical.
yeah, the nebula's getting bigger, but it's not quite as bright as it has been. So let's cool down a little bit, or just stop refueling. Then we'll check to see what's in this system. Right, so it's all big and small stuff. So, straight off to the next one.
Frameshift drive charging.
4 jumps now.
Four, three, two, one. Engage. Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete. Warning, temperature critical.
We have a water world. So let's get a little bit away from this star before we scan this whole system. So yeah, the nebula is taking up the majority of the screen now. Alright, so got 2 stars, 18 bodies, right, 29 signal sources. So most of those signal sources will be asteroid belts. Geology. Nothing on there. Right, so I think that's it for orbiting B. Oh, I've got things around AB, so things orbiting both stars as well. Nothing on there. Alright, so there's the water world. AB2, that's going to be possibly the furthest away. Nothing there. I've got 3rd star. 1 biology on C7. C7. So, right, so there's 1 there. Yeah, the types of things you find when there's just biology on the planet is stratum is the most common one. Sometimes fundicular, and if the planet hasn't got an atmosphere, then it is probably going to be crystal shards. Right, so just 2 more.
System scan complete.
So it's just the water world and 1 planet with biology on it. So let's head off to the water world, and then we'll have a quick look at the galaxy map, see how big the system is. So it was on C7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That must be C7A. Must be that one there. And that is 100,000 light seconds. So yeah, it's going to take a while to get to that one. Right, so I just put some data on the screen about the statistics from the tour of the galaxy. That is how it was as I arrived in Colonia. So I'm now over 900 plants scanned, and I mean, probably add another couple of species to the list of number of plant species that I've found, and probably 4 or 5 more Earth-like worlds as well. Right, so let's probe this water world. Pretty confident that's going to complete, so we'll just go and pick the next planet to visit.
Surface scan complete.
Right, so it looks like we're turning around and heading towards the centre of the galaxy again, so the sky is a lot brighter in that direction. Right, so this is going to be a bit of a wait, so this is going to be about 10 minutes to get to there. I think I'll just put the news back on again.
Electromagnetic and hyperspace transmitters that will broadcast to Taranis as it approaches. We'll be trying everything from flashing light patterns to multi-frequency data bursts. Establishing common ground is key to any negotiation, so I've composed messages that impart universally recognizable concepts such as mathematical formulae and star charts. These should illustrate our intellectual prowess and capacity for reasoning. The best case scenario is that whatever controls Taranis hears us and responds in kind. We must at least attempt to make peaceful overtures. Even if we fail, it would signify to humanity that there are many people willing to make the attempt, no matter how dangerous. Wish us luck. The Kingfisher Xenopeace mission. Pilots Federation alert. The Kingfisher megaship has requested supplies for its planned journey to greet the first rogue signal source. Shipments of basic medicines, fruit and vegetables are required for the Kingfisher's crew, who will be joined by over 3,000 supporters of the Thargoid Advocacy Project. Semiconductors and WAN imagers have also been requested to establish the mission's communications arrays, which are being designed to initiate contact with the Thargoids. Congressman Dalton Chase gave a press statement regarding the initiative. Now that we know the approaching anomalies are Thargoid, many are concerned that hostilities between our species will escalate. However, a brave group of volunteers see this as an opportunity to prove that diplomacy can work. An alien race has sent emissaries toward humanity's space, and it is our duty to meet them with words rather than weapons. The first of the anomalies, which we have named Taranis, is predicted to pass through Hyades Sector YOQB51. Using the high-level protocols available to Congress, I have successfully obtained a temporary access restriction that grants an exclusive permit to the Kingfisher. A range of broadcasts using multiple techniques will try to attract the Thargoid's attention. Hopefully, the entity will slow down long enough to give some acknowledgement of these attempts. The delivery initiative in the Andevangel system is being managed by Deutsche Elite Piloten Interstellar. In order to protect deliveries to Blenkensop Hub, the faction is offering increased payouts on bounty voucher redemptions. Kolsak Nebula reports Thargoid activity. The human colonists in the Coalsack Nebula has raised the alarm after Thargoid forces appeared several systems. Following recent attacks on human assets in the California Nebula, it appears that the Thargoids have again sought to occupy systems where barnacle fields are present on planet surfaces. Councillor Louis Lechurch, representing the Alliance Expeditionary Pact in HIP 2154, provided the following to the Alliance Tribune. Our ships regularly patrol between the populated systems in this region. We had the first reports of non-human signals this morning. Obviously, we've seen Thargoid activity in the Coalsack Nebula several times before, but this time was different. It's not an attack as much as an occupation. We witnessed a huge upsurge in these signals in multiple systems. Over a couple of hours, it felt like Thargoid activity was visible on scanners wherever our ships looked. It's exclusively in areas with barnacle sites, too. Now, there's no secret that the Thargoids aren't happy with our interest in the meta-alloys those sites produce. But this time they're not attacking ports, or either the Spirit of Nissa or Song of Meki megaships. It's like they're waiting for something. The described behavior matches similar Thargoid incursions into other populated systems in recent weeks. Researchers in the nebula have withdrawn from ongoing field studies of barnacle sites, citing safety concerns. In other news, Azimuth Biotech has announced that the Glorious Prospect will distribute the Booney permit from the LHS 1163 system, instead of the T-Tauri system as planned. Federal authorities offered protection to the megaship to reduce the travel time between the two locations, granting combat pilots swift access to the anti-Xeno weaponry offered at Prospect's Deep. Public unnerved by Palin announcement. The announcement that the rogue signal sources heading towards the core systems are Thargoid in origin has caused unease within the general public. Protests in systems on the edges of human space have taken place, demanding assurances from local governments about their safety. The failure to establish a collective human fleet to counter Thargoid incursions has left many concerned about what the future may hold. Casey Kilpatrick provided this report from Castellan Station in Lathe. Colleagues across multiple systems have confirmed that the impending arrival of the rogue signal sources, termed Stargoids by some in network media, has led to a shared sense of anxiety. ICE networks are seeing high interest in topics related to Thargoids, with negative sentiment aimed at politicians and military figures seen as responsible for the Proteus Wave event, which perhaps attracted the anomalies. Witnesses report families transporting all they own to ships bound for the opposite side of the bubble. Palin's opinion that humanity may not be ready for what happens next has been criticized as needlessly alarming. While Palin is a brilliant scientist, his communication skills have been called less than ideal in recent days. Yet his supporters, particularly among academics, have argued that it would be cowardly to hide the truth. If humanity is truly in danger, the statement at least could prompt a fresh allocation of resources to military organizations while also giving independents time to prepare. Vista Genomics has reportedly contacted the team working alongside Professor Palin with a proposal to share its genetic database with ongoing research projects. The potential importance of such data may precede an increase in payments to those who record and submit genetic samples. The news has also caused a stir across most financial markets. The main issue is the unpredictability of what this could mean for primary industries and their ability to maintain traditional supply and demand. The cost of goods and services may be impacted across clusters of systems. The Bank of Zounds has announced it is monitoring the situation and is preparing several potential strategies in the event of an interstellar recession. In conclusion, most are left with a rather unpalatable course of action: to sit and wait. No superpower has announced a means to prevent the Thargoid anomalies from reaching us. Palin's announcement has hypothesized on what the signals may be, but could not confirm what they will do. It appears that we will all find out together, for better or worse. Xenopieces reject prediction of war. A claim that the rogue signal sources form part of a potential Thargoid offensive has been disputed by many in the pro-peace movement. A joint statement by respected xenologists Professor Albert Tesreau, Professor Ishmael Palin and Ramtar concluded that the approaching anomalies are a reaction to events in HIP 22460 and may have dire consequences for humanity. The 8 signal sources are projected to arrive in the core systems within weeks. Advocates for the Thargoid Advocacy Project and similar Xenopeace groups have rejected the idea that increased hostilities with the Thargoids is inevitable. As community liaison Bernadette Wells said on the Joy Senna ICE cast, despite this ominous claim from 3 respected scientists, they have offered no hard evidence to support the assumption that the anomalies are hostile. I'm sorry, I know Seojin A has suffered enormously as part of Salvation's unrelenting obsession with the Thargoids, but I don't think we should be using her vague instincts to inform official policy regarding this alien species.
Surface scan by 50%. Surface scan complete. Frameshift drive charging. Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, pretty close to the heart of the nebula now, just 2 jumps to go.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
So we have another neutron star or white dwarf.
System scan complete. Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits.
Never worked out how the refueling is supposed to work. I'm sure you're just supposed to fly through those in it. It gives you a super boost, but yeah, never been able to get that to work. Ought to look into that a little bit more at some point. Right, so we are still not in the heart of the nebula, so let's go again. It's only a short jump, just
frameshift drive charging.
28 light years. Normally jump about 70, 75 light years between systems. Yeah, so again, this one is quite a big nebula, so from the inside it's not quite as spectacular as it looks from the outside. Looks like we come into another neutron star again. we have some stuff here. So let's have a look to see what it is. Yeah, no, it's just a few small planets. Right, so nothing much here in this nebula. So I'll just chalk that off as being visited, and we will head off to the next one, which is it's a very big star apparently. So galaxy map. I don't think this is going to be too far. So you can tell by the name, anything that starts with AA-A is probably going to be very heavy or a black hole. That's one way I used to search for black holes on the old galaxy map. I'm not sure if it works so well with the new galaxy map. Right, so that's 47 jumps. Right, okay. Alright, it's... we've gone a long way below the galactic plane. Right, so that's why that took so long. We're a long way below the galactic plane at the moment, so 47 jumps is another hour. So I didn't realise we were that far below the galactic plane. But yeah, it looks like we'll be going directly up for a while. That's probably also explains why there's not very many stars on one side.
Frameshift drive charging.
Right, okay, so yeah, we're heading upwards now.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
Oh, another neutron star. This next one isn't a neutron, isn't refuelable, then I will have to. This is a water world. Oh, so there's nothing in this system except a water world. Let's see if I can find that. Oh, so that line's supposed to be the orbital plane. And as there's only one thing in the system, it should be spot on the orbital plane, otherwise it's not the orbital plane. That is very strange. Right, okay, so if anybody can explain to me why a system with one planet has an orbital plane that doesn't have the one planet on it, I'd be interested to find out. Right, so... So not only is it not on the orbital plane, it is nowhere near the orbital plane. Does it show up in the system? No, it doesn't. Right, okay. Alright. Just do some cross scans then. There we go.
System scan complete.
7,000 light seconds. Right, I haven't got a clue why that's not on the orbital plane, but there we go. Right, so this is the solitary water world, the only planet in this system.
Surface scan by 50%. Surface scan complete.
Right, so hopefully in the next
Frame
system
shift
we
drive
can,
charging.
yeah, we can refuel on the next system.
Four, three, two, one. Engage.
Yeah, when I plotted this route, I didn't realise I was going to be 47 jumps below the galactic plane. So, yeah, that's basically an hour. Hours out of my way.
Fuel scooping.
So we're going to do a bit of refueling here.
Warning, Temperature critical.
Refueling at full speed.
Fuel scoping
Fully
complete.
refueled.
Frameshift drive charging.
Right, well, as I'm not going to get to the next target in this stream, and we're 2.5 hours, I think I'm going to call that an end to the stream. So, if you've been watching, thank you, and I will see you on the next instalment of the Tour of the Galaxy. So, thanks a lot, and see you next time. Say that I was trying to find the animation in Animation to wave goodbye, but I've changed all the icons, so I don't know which one's which. There we go, animation. Right, they haven't changed them, they've moved them. Right, so yeah, goodbye. See you next time.